Welcome everyone. So Heroscape here today. Update number 19. We're we're getting there. I wonder how many we're gonna get to. Maybe like 50. Hey, throw your guesses down. How many more updates we're gonna have before any more official announcements from the timeline? I'm gonna throw out 35. Why not? I'll give them a couple more weeks. Anyway, yesterday I wasn't as crazy about the Combine faction, which, as you remember, was a little bit more steampunky with a bunch of animals, smaller critters running around. But sometimes cool just makes you change your mind a little bit. And today, we see something pretty freaking cool. So let's read about it first, and then I'll show the art. Don't let the fear of falling keep you from flying. Air Captain Zed Nesbit is a living legend among the Vorid people. Not simply for his keen eyes and skills as a talented sharpshooter, but for his almost uncanny ability to survive his signature, strategically inspired rapid descents to the surface, flying maneuvers in his custom-engineered war dirigible. Quick to capitalize on Zed Nesbit's utter fearlessness in combat, an amazing knack for being at just the right place at just the right moment, many Clockwork Combine jump infantry are quick to volunteer to hitch a ride with Air Captain, engaging where the carnage is heaviest, bringing fangs, claws, and death from above. All right, we'll come back to that in a second. That's awesome. Here is the art. Now, this is just freaking cool. Now, I don't really care, that, we don't like steampunk. A flying machine is just freaking cool, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, look at that. The dude's on his own little, like I said, self-engineered dirigible, flying around, sniping people from above. I mean, that is awesome. Now, that is so unique. And I'll be honest, in terms of a miniature, I have no idea how they're gonna do this. You do get an idea here. So when you look at the other concept art, that looks like, to me, it's a flat, like a flat rectangle. You get another angle over here, kind of like an air stand, but it's flat in order to support the whole structure. So it seems like they are gonna try to do some sort of air stand. Thing is, I just have no idea how you balance that. Like, how do you get the miniature that is so top heavy like that to balance? I mean, it's got to be on a double hex, right? So for that's one. But anyway, I really don't know how they're going to pull that off. I'm really curious. But yeah, so I mean, you can see they've got a little propeller in the back. Some what's it look like? Engine, I guess engine. Fire or air or whatever it is that's propelling the dirigible. Oh, this is cool. You see some earlier concept art with the little wheel. That's cool. And then what's up here? Oh, this is just more. You have him obviously, scouting around, or you have him shooting with the sniper rifle. It looks like they opted for the sniper shot, so that's cool. Oh yeah, this is cool. So a couple other concept art looks here. Yeah, I like that. This is really cool. So yeah, Captain Zed Nesbit. I mean, let's go back and read about it again. So, first off, the Vorid people, we did actually get in Carmine on the Discord to confirm that the faction, or I believe the faction, I don't think it might be the species. I can't remember. But Vorid is at least the name of the collective, the faction, or Combine rather, I believe. And so it's stating here that, his ability to strategically inspired rapid descent to the surface. So I'm not really sure what that's referencing, other than maybe just lore. I don't think that's going to have any mechanical, gameplay aspects of it, simply because if you have a flying miniature on a flying base, I don't know how you implement a rapid descent to the surface flying maneuver, right? So I think that's just kind of the lore base behind it. I think the idea is that he's just really skilled with his flying machine. I love that, it says here, equipped to capitalize on his fearlessness, so the idea here is that, I'm sure it's going to have some sort of carryability where it carries multiple units. And then, actually it mentions, where does it mention? Jump infantry. There we go. See, that's interesting. I think that's going to be a common squad. I think we're going to see a common squad implemented there. So it says many Clockwork Combine jump infantry. Yep, absolutely. I think that's going to be a common squad that comes out specifically with synergy towards him. And if not, then maybe it's just more of a generic reference to the units in general who can be carried and dropped kind of over throughout the map. So I am loving this. Engaging where the carnage is heaviest. So engaging where the carnage is heaviest, I bet that is referring to a potential requirement for the drop, in that they have to end in engagements. So rather than just, carting off your units into, nowhere and dropping them far away, I think the idea here is likely that you can use the drop and the deployment ability of this unit if it's ending in engagements. Yep, see, engaging where the carnage is heaviest. Yeah, yep. I'm going to make a call on that one. I think it's going to be an engagement requirement and some sort of carry ability. I think that's going to end up being a common squad. Yep, capitalize on this. Okay, anything else here that we're missing? I don't think so. So yeah, just really cool stuff. Just, yeah, look at that design. It's just, again, I'm not super crazy about the whole Clockwork Combine as a faction in general, but like I said, sometimes you just got to admit some stuff is just cool, and this is just freaking cool. So again, like I said yesterday, I think the thing that makes me like this faction a lot is simply the game mechanics that are being represented. Obviously we don't know the specifics, but based off of what they're saying, I really like the implications of a unit that can basically be a hero unit to cart up units, drop them off in the middle of battle, or develop them, deploy them. Yesterday we read that the units, or the faction in general, just deploys very quickly, and is very engaged in combat through that deployment. And so I really like the implications of how this game styles, or of the faction game style, gameplay aspects. So again, not crazy necessarily about the units at this time. Again, a lot of you have commented that you do like it and you do love it, and that's awesome. And I think that speaks to just what they've told us. There's going to be something for everyone. I think that also speaks to the way that they might present the master set or the release of Heroscape. Is a lot of discussion has been around, well, it's not going to be in the way that we are used to master sets, right? Where it's a ton of terrain and a ton of unique units all together. I think this time around it doesn't make as much sense to do like a Rise of the Valkyrie type of master set. Because if you think about it, if you really want that terrain, but you're not crazy about the units, then, if you buy 10 sets, you're going to have 9 extra sets of units, right? That was the issue with the Rise of the Valkyrie units, is it has the most terrain, and so you'd have all these people buying up a bunch of sets to have the terrain, but then, what are you going to do with 10 different copies of those? You end up making custom, chopping them up and mixing and matching. I did that with all my extras, cutting them off their base, using their base. So I do think that when they say there's going to be something for everyone, that's also insinuating the way they plan on deploying the expansions or the master sets is essentially, hey, here's a faction, hey, here's a bunch of units, hey, here's something, and you can buy them individually. I think that would make the most sense, especially like for terrain packs. I would think it makes the most sense to have a terrain pack, right? Where you just say, hey, this terrain pack can be played in this scenario with these factions, right? And then you can mix and match and have those scenarios or campaigns that you run. But you could buy 10 terrain packs if you didn't want to bother with the units, or you could buy 10 units, or you could buy just one pack of the unique figures, right? So obviously, is that the way that they're doing it? No idea. I think that makes a lot of sense if they do it that way. So I'm gonna say that's my guess. And I think that's why they're presenting each of these designs week on week in a faction setting. So you get a good idea of the full faction and how it plays and how it's synergistic or works together. So that, maybe when they do present this and they say, hey, there's no real master set per se, but what we're doing is we're saying, hey, here's a faction, and they're all separate expansions with a bunch of terrain packs separate. We're going to be a little bit more open to receiving it in that way. Because, it's not going to be the exact same way that they did it before. We know that because they made mistakes before, and that hurt the way that the manufacturing and the packaging was done. And so I think this time around, they're making the right decisions. It seems to be the way that they've been doing things so far. And so obviously, just a great time to be excited. So that's it for now. Thought I'd share some additional ideas today on kind of how I think things are going. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.